With gloom, doom, and a touch of divine intervention, Blasphemous 2 emerges as a stellar Metroidvania experience. For those unfamiliar with the first installment, Blasphemous 2, developed by the Game Kitchen and published by Team 17, takes us into a dark and twisted world known as Custodia, where players assume the role of the Penitent One. In the award-winning original game, released in 2019, we witness the defeat of the Miracle, a sinister force plaguing the land. Fast forward to 2023 and the sequel is upon us, promising an even more gripping narrative and refined gameplay. Buckle up as we delve into why Blasphemous 2 is making waves as one of the standout, if not the best, Metroidvanias of the year. The Penitent One has been resurrected many years after the end of the first game with the sole purpose of saving Custodia. In order to accomplish this, he must kill the Miracle's child to thwart its plans to take over the world. I was immediately smitten by the premise. I love a dark world filled with pain and suffering in my games. I might be a sadist, and as someone who's drawn to games that tend to be difficult, I might be a masochist too. The game not only captivates with its narrative, but also enthralls with its gameplay and mechanics. Your first choice in the game is your weapon. You can begin with a strength weapon called Veredicto, a dex weapon named Sarmiento and Centella, which I sometimes refer to as S&C, and a quality weapon known as Ruego al Alba. Don't worry, you collect the other two as well, so if you made the wrong choice for your playstyle, you'll have a better weapon soon enough. The weapons are upgraded by means of a skill tree, and 3 tiers are unlocked as you progress. You must spend marks of martyrdom to unlock different skills, which are obtained both through discovery and by defeating various enemies. For example, Veredicto has the skill Embers of Faith, which adds fire damage, S&C has Sacred Lunge, where the player can lunge through and slash enemies, and Ruego al Alba has Blood Pact, which adds mystical damage to the attacks. You can collect enough marks of martyrdom to unlock the entire skill tree of each weapon in one playthrough. Whether or not you have a preferred weapon, you will need all 3 in order to advance the game, as the abilities of each are unique and are required for traversal. In addition to using melee weapons, you can fight using prayers, called either quick verses or chants. Quick verses are generally projectile spells that are, well, much quicker in comparison to chants. Chants are powerful, often AoE spells that take longer to pull off. Mana is known as fervor, which is consumed when casting or praying. Dying increases a mechanic called guilt, which diminishes the amount of fervor available. You can pick up guilt fragments from the locations where you die, which will reduce but not eliminate guilt. Accumulated guilt is eliminated by confessing to an NPC. Combat, with the use of the weapons abilities and prayers, allows for creativity not often seen in the Metroidvania genre. The player can be buffed and reduce damage obtained via sculptures and rosary beads, similar to rings in the Souls series. Healing is limited at first, but becomes more robust as you progress, as you increase the number and strength of heals. Heals are replenished at checkpoints known as pre-deaths, so you don't need to buy or find consumables to heal. This quality of life feature is a thoughtful approach to the player experience. Forcing players to farm for consumables is, in my opinion, disrespectful. It breaks the rhythm of the game and becomes a tedious chore. Speaking of pre-deaths, they are numerous, but they don't initially allow for fast travel. The player is rewarded through exploration with more and more options for fast travel, so the game never feels like a slog. As you tread through the world of Custodia, the diversity of enemies keeps the game consistently engaging. Creative death and execution animations add macabre elements. Traversal requires platforming. I find platforming nerve-wracking, but I managed to get through it without much trouble. Graphics are excellent for the genre, and look more mature than in the previous game. Cutscenes are in a decidedly different style, more anime than classical art, which is used in the rest of the game. Some may find this jarring, but I did not. With inspiration from Spanish folklore and Roman Catholic iconography, the atmosphere is somber and gorgeous. You are never permitted to lose sight of the bleak nature of what you're being tasked to do. NPCs, of which there are many, add to the world building. They can have sad stories, be grotesque, or both. This is a perfect time to talk about lore. Lore enthusiasts will love this aspect of the game. The lore is not tied up in a neat package and delivered to you. You have to work to understand it. Like Soulsborns, you must take the time to read item descriptions and letters and carefully listen to NPCs in order to gain a better understanding of the world around you. If you're like me, you won't have the patience to do that. You should listen to your favorite lore YouTuber to elucidate the story. Reviews are expected to have some criticism, so here's mine. This may sound strange, but I wasn't particularly attracted to the music while playing the game. This is in contrast to the music of, say, Ender Lilies, which sucked me in immediately. However, I listened to the OST of Blasphemous 2 and loved it. From solo Spanish guitar playing to full symphony orchestra, it is spellbinding. I don't know why I wasn't enthusiastic about it while playing. Perhaps I was focused more on gameplay, or maybe it's as simple as the music volume was too low. I just don't know. Okay, so the game looks good, sounds good, and has fun combat mechanics. Now the question is, did it deliver these items evenly and consistently? In short, yes. Performance on PC was excellent. There were no game-ending bugs or slow frame rates. The only bug I experienced was with a particular boss which derped out the end of the fight. A quick internet search revealed that other players had the same issue. I had a choice, to cheese him or not, so I quit out to replay the boss so I could beat him properly. About bosses, overall they were fairly easy, with only one being what I would consider a true skills check. I haven't heard a lot mentioned about trophies, particularly whether getting the platinum is worth it. I felt accomplished when I got the platinum, and I think striving to do so made me feel like I had squeezed every last drop out of the game. Like for example, completing the entire map. I was nervous about the speedrun and no damage boss fight trophies, but they were doable. I'm not a particularly good gamer, I'm just persistent. It takes me so long to finish a game, so going above and beyond by getting the platinum when you just don't have to speaks volumes about its quality. And for all this, the price at the time of this review is $22.49 on Steam. Is it worth that? Well, by now my final judgment should be obvious. With its stoic atmosphere, stellar combat options, and captivating lore, I recommend this game wholeheartedly to everyone who has similar tastes to mine. I don't know if it's the best Metroidvania ever made, but it could be. Does that even matter? It's a fantastic game that is deserving of recognition. I have absolutely no reservations in telling you to run to your PC or console now and play this game immediately. You can thank me later. And with that, this is my first video game review. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments and be honest because I want to get better. I'm not afraid of your ideas. Take care, be safe, and I hope 2024 is the best year ever for you and your loved ones. Bye-bye.